We want to start this morning with a Fox News alert. You may be aware of this. There was a leadership shakeup yesterday on Capitol Hill. House Speaker John Boehner, after 5 years, announced he's retiring from Congress in a month. Watch.
Last night I started thinking about this, and this morning I woke up and I said my prayers, as I always do, and I decided, today's the day I'm going to do this. As simple as that.
So was this the right time for him to go? And where does the Republican Party go from here?
Well, joining us now, Texas Republican Congressman Louis Gohmert. Nice to see you this morning, Congressman. Welcome to the show.
It's great to see all three of you. Just great.
Thank you so much. So a big night, obviously, and a big morning as Washington tries to make sense what's next for the Republican Party. Where does the Republican Party go from here? Is compromise ever going to come back to Capitol Hill?
Well, first of all, when I woke this morning, I said my prayers, and I said, thank you, Lord. And so now we're going to move forward. And, yeah, there can be compromise. And that's the thing that people have not gotten. There's been only one party that's been willing to compromise. We saw that with Obamacare. There was no compromise with the Democrats. We're willing to compromise. We're willing to do things in a bipartisan way. And in fact, right now, we're willing to fund more for women's health care than the Democrats and the president wanted. We just don't want it going to Planned Parenthood. We want it to go actually to the facilities that do mammograms, like Planned Parenthood. So we're willing to compromise. We're going to fund everything, and that's tough for me and others, but we're willing to fund everything the Democrats want, just not Planned Parenthood. And we shouldn't be funding the Iran treaty because it is a treaty. And it's just time to have a leader. And by the way, one of the things that most people are not aware of, this speaker put in place a rule years ago when he became the top leader that you could not, no matter what leadership position you were in, you couldn't stay there more than 6 years. Well, he's violated that by a few years. So now we're going to try to live by our own rules. That'll be a good thing.
So, Congressman, you're obviously happy about the Speaker's announcement yesterday. A lot of conservatives like you are applauding it. Are you certain, though, that the next speaker will be better for conservatives? I mean, are you certain, for example, that Kevin McCarthy, who seems like the most likely candidate, would be a more conservative speaker than John Boehner?
I think that you will see, no matter who the speaker is, and I'm supporting Dan Webster of Florida, the first Speaker of the House there, who was Republican. But no matter who it is, I know there'll be more conservative because they'll let the majority rule. And that's the way it's supposed to work. We've had a dictatorship for years now, and we saw that with the funding of the Homeland Security which funded amnesty. You had 167 Republicans vote against it, 75 vote for it, which tells you way over 2/3 have not been listened to by this speaker. So I wish him well. People ask, why do you hate him? I don't hate him. I'm a Christian. He's a Christian. I love him as a brother. But it's time for somebody else who will let the majority rule, and we can do so in a compromised manner.
Okay, and we're seeing reaction across the board. In fact, we've heard from Senator Harry Reid, who released a statement saying, by ousting a good man like Speaker Boehner, someone who understood the art of compromise, the party of Eisenhower and Reagan is no more. What is your reaction to that, Congressman?
Well, it tells you a lot about what's been happening. Harry Reid and the president want somebody that they could push around, get them to do whatever they wanted and not stop them, because Harry Reid's idea of compromise is do what I say or you're not bipartisan. He has showed that over and over. And in fact, you go back to the shutdown in 2013, you'll see the House Republicans were the only ones that compromised. And the last compromise we passed at 1:10 a.m. in the morning, just saying, okay, Harry, we're giving you some very moderate conferees. You appoint yours. We'll have this all worked out by 8 a.m. We promise. He wouldn't. He wanted a shutdown because he knew not Fox, but the mainstream would blame Republicans, and that's what happened. He's been the man of no compromise more than anybody else in Washington.
Interesting. Louis Gohmert from the United States House of Representatives joining us this morning. Great to see you this morning, Congressman.
Thanks, Congressman.
It's so good to see you guys.
Thank you
very much.
Appreciate it.